My girlfriend said, I need someone who can support my lifestyle. So I faked bankruptcy, caught her scamming my parents for $5,000, then watched her new boyfriend dump her when the screenshots leaked. I am Jake 31M, co-founder of a tech security startup that has been gaining traction over the past few years. Nothing huge yet, but we are profitable and growing. I have been dating Alexis 28F for about a year. We met at an industry event where she works in marketing. Beautiful, smart, always perfectly put together. Honestly seemed out of my league at first. Looking back, I should have seen the red flags. Alexis has this group of friends, Megan, Chloe, and Zoe, and they are constantly doing expensive shit together. Weekend trips, high-end restaurants, designer shopping sprees. And somehow, I always ended up covering most of it. Babe, can you get dinner tonight? I promise I will get the next one. Or the girls want to do this wine tour. Could you help out Megan? She is tight on cash this month. It started small but gradually increased to the point where my credit card was taking a serious hit every month. My business partner and best friend, Ryan, started noticing. Dude, you realize you are bankrolling her entire friend group, right? I would brush him off. She is just social. She likes including everyone. But Ryan wouldn't let it go. When is the last time she paid for anything significant? You are being used. I kept defending her until last week when Ryan suggested something that seemed crazy at first. Test her. Tell her the business is failing and see how she reacts. Initially, I thought it was ridiculous, but the more I considered it, the more it made sense. If Alexis truly cared about me beyond my wallet, she would stick around during tough times, right? So I created some fake financial documents showing our biggest clients pulling out and the business hemorrhaging money. I called Alexis and asked her to come over that evening to discuss something important. She showed up looking amazing as always. I sat her down and explained the situation. The startup's in trouble. We are losing clients and burning through our reserves. I might have to declare bankruptcy. Her reaction, pure panic. Not concern for me, concern for herself. What? How bad is it? Will you have to sell your condo? I told her it was serious. I would probably need to downsize, sell my car, and cut back on all non-essential expenses. The whole time I am explaining this, she is staring at me like I just told her I had a terminal illness. So, what about our trip to Aspen next month, she asked. Not how are you handling this, or what can I do to help? Just immediate worry about a ski trip that I was supposed to pay for. I cannot afford it anymore. Alexis, I am sorry. She nodded slowly and said she needed some air. She left my place saying she needed time to process everything. I figured she was just shocked and would call me later that night. She didn't. 3 days of complete silence followed. No calls, no texts, nothing. I didn't reach out either. I wanted to see what she would do. On the 4th day, Ryan called me while I was at the gym. Dude, you are not going to believe what I just saw. What is up? I am at Kingsley's for lunch. Alexis is here with her friends, and they are not exactly keeping their voices down. Ryan put his phone on mute but kept the call going so I could hear. Alexis was telling her friends about my financial disaster and asking for advice. I don't know what to do, she was saying. I really like Jake, but I am not trying to date someone who is broke. I have standards, Megan replied. Girl, you need to move on before you waste any more time. Rich guys are everywhere on the apps. I know, Alexis sighed. I just thought I had a good thing going with Jake. He never questioned anything I asked for. That is exactly why you need someone financially stable, Chloe chimed in. You deserve to be taken care of. I heard enough and told Ryan to get out of there before they noticed him. I was angry, but also strangely calm. At least now I knew the truth. That night, Alexis finally texted me. Hey, I have been thinking about your situation. Can we talk tomorrow? I think we should discuss where things go from here. I didn't respond. I wanted to see what she would do next. The next morning, I got a long message. Jake, I care about you a lot, but I need to be honest. I am at a point in my life where I need stability and security. Your financial situation changes things for us. I think we should take a break while you figure things out. I hope you understand this comes from a place of self-care. I need someone who can support my lifestyle. And there it was. The truth laid bare. Not even an I am sorry or how can I help. Just I need someone who can support my lifestyle. Update 1. Sorry for the delayed update. Had to fly out to San Francisco for an emergency meeting with investors. Turns out when you are actually successful, unlike what Alexis believes, people want your time. So that unknown call I mentioned. It was Alexis's older sister, Diana. We would met a few times at family events, but never really talked much. She is 32, runs her own physical therapy practice, and couldn't be more different from Alexis. Jake, I hope you don't mind me calling. I got your number from Alexis's phone a while back in case of emergencies. No problem. What is going on? I am calling because I overheard Alexis talking to our parents yesterday. She told them you were going bankrupt and asked them for money, claiming it was to help you out during a rough patch. I was speechless for a moment, Diana. I am not going bankrupt. The business is fine. I figured something was off. Alexis has a pattern of financial creativity. Has she been asking you for money regularly? When I explained the situation, the constant requests to cover her friend's expenses, the one-sided financial relationship, and my fake bankruptcy test, Diana wasn't surprised. She did similar things with her ex. Our parents have bailed her out multiple times. I am sorry you got caught up in it. Diana explained that Alexis had been given $5,000 by their parents to help her struggling boyfriend, money that would undoubtedly disappear into her own expenses. I thought you should know. It wasn't right for me to stay silent. I thanked Diana for her honesty. After we hung up, I sat with this new information for a while. Alexis wasn't just abandoning me in my supposed time of need. She was actively exploiting the situation to scam her own parents. That night, Ryan came over with beers. What are you going to do? He asked after I filled him in on Diana's call. End it, obviously. But I want to make sure she doesn't scam her parents. You could just tell them the truth, Ryan suggested. I have a better idea, I said. Let's see how this plays out first. The following day, Alexis finally called instead of texted. Jake, can we talk? Sure. What is up? I kept my tone neutral. I have been thinking about us, she said, her voice gentle in that way that usually preceded asking for something expensive. I know things are difficult right now, but relationships are about supporting each other through hard times, right? That is certainly what I thought. I may have been hasty with my message yesterday. I was just shocked and scared. Scared of what exactly? I pressed. Of the uncertainty, but I have thought about it, and I want to help you through this. How generous of you, I said, not hiding the sarcasm. And how exactly do you plan to help? Well, I spoke to my parents. They are willing to lend us some money to help you get back on your feet. Isn't that amazing of them? There it was. The real reason for her sudden change of heart. That is interesting. Alexis, because your sister called me yesterday. Silence on the line. Diana told me about the $5,000 your parents gave you. For me, apparently, Jake, I save it. You weren't planning on giving me that money, were you? More silence. I think we are done here, Alexis. Don't contact me again. I hung up before she could respond and immediately called Diana. I explained everything and suggested she inform their parents about Alexis's scam before the money disappeared. She agreed and thanked me for the heads up. The next day, Ryan and I were at our office when he nudged me. Look at this, he said, showing me his phone. Alexis had updated her Instagram. She was at some rooftop bar with a new guy older, wearing an expensive watch and designer clothes. The caption read, "Sometimes the universe delivers exactly what you need." Well, that didn't take long. I laughed. You okay? Ryan asked. Honestly, I am fine. Actually, more than fine. And I meant it. Instead of feeling hurt, I felt relieved like I had dodged a bullet. That afternoon, I got a text from Diana. Parents confronted Alexis. She denied everything until they mentioned talking to you directly. Then she broke down. They are making her return the money and get financial counseling. I appreciated the update but didn't want to get further involved in their family drama. I thanked Diana for her integrity and wished her well. Later that night, I was at the gym when I ran into someone I hadn't seen in years. Melissa, who had been 2 years behind me in college. We had had a few classes together and always got along well. She is a software engineer now, and we ended up grabbing smoothies after our workouts, catching up on life. When she asked about my dating life, I gave her the abbreviated version of the Alexis situation. Wow, that is awful, she said. But good for you for figuring it out before things got more serious. Unlike Alexis, Melissa asked thoughtful questions about my business, shared stories about her own startup experience, and insisted on paying for her own smoothie despite my offer. It was refreshing to have a conversation that wasn't transactional. As I was driving home, my phone rang with a number I didn't recognize. When I answered, I was shocked to hear a male voice say, "Is this Jake? I am David, Alexis's new boyfriend. We need to talk." What he told me next made me pull over to the side of the road in disbelief, and suddenly, the whole Alexis situation became much more complicated than I ever imagined. Update 2. So David. Let me pick up where I left off. I pulled over and put the call on speaker. "I am listening," I said. "I met Alexis last weekend," David explained. "We hit it off, exchanged numbers, went on a couple of dates. Yesterday she told me about her ex-boyfriend who went bankrupt and how devastated she was. I had to laugh. Let me guess. She mentioned needing money for something." "How would you know?" "She said her landlord raised her rent unexpectedly, and she needed $2,000 to cover the difference until she gets her commission check next month." "And you are calling me because?" "Because I did some digging," David said. "I am in finance, so I always research people I date. Found your company, which is clearly doing well. Found her on your Instagram from just 2 weeks ago. The timeline didn't add up." "Smart guy. I am surprised she gave you my real name." "She didn't. She called you John. But I found your connection through mutual followers. Look, I am not interested in drama, but I also don't like being played. Is she running some kind of scam?" I told David the entire story. The fake bankruptcy test. Her reaction, the money from her parents. He listened without interrupting. "Damn," he said when I finished. "I had a feeling something was off when she forgot her wallet on our second date, then ordered the most expensive items on the menu." "Classic Alexis move," I confirmed. "Thanks for the heads up. I am canceling our plans for tomorrow. Glad I could help." We ended the call, and I figured that was the end of the Alexis saga. I was wrong. The next day, I was having lunch with Ryan when my phone exploded with notifications. Alexis was calling, texting, even emailing me. I ignored everything until Ryan looked at his own phone and whistled. "Dude, you are trending in our social circle." He showed me his screen. Alexis had posted a long rant on Instagram claiming I was spreading lies about her to sabotage her new relationship because I was jealous and bitter about my failing business. "Should I be worried about this?" I asked Ryan. "Nah, anyone who knows you knows your business is solid, but it might be worth addressing with people who matter." I nodded, then decided to check her actual post. The comments section was fascinating. While some of her friends were offering sympathy, others were notably silent. And there, in the middle of it all, was a comment from David. "Interesting story. Didn't you tell me yesterday that your ex John went bankrupt last month? Yet here you are dating Jake until recently?" Math isn't mathing. Alexis had deleted his comment, but not before others had seen it. The narrative was already falling apart. My phone buzzed with a text from Diana. "Saw my sister's meltdown online. You okay?" I replied that I was fine and asked how things were on her end. Messy parents are finally seeing through her act. Years too late, but better than never. We texted back and forth for a bit before she asked if I would want to grab coffee sometime to talk more about the situation. I agreed, figuring it couldn't hurt to have more information about Alexis's patterns in case things escalated. We met at a cafe near my office the next day. Diana was much easier to talk to one-on-one than she had been in groups where Alexis dominated the conversation. She had a straightforward manner and dry sense of humor that made the heavy topic lighter somehow. "Alexis has always been like this," Diana explained. "The pretty one, the charming one. Our parents spoiled her because it was easier than saying no. Didn't they enable the behavior?" "Absolutely. I tried pointing it out for years, but I was labeled the jealous sister. It took her scamming them directly for the truth to sink in." We ended up talking for nearly 2 hours, about family dynamics, our careers, and eventually just normal stuff. Diana was smart and insightful, and I found myself enjoying her company more than I had expected. As we were leaving, she said, "This was nice. Thanks for not judging our whole family based on Alexis. Thanks for warning me about the money scam. Not many people would have made that call." 2 days later, I was at the gym again and ran into Melissa. We ended up grabbing dinner after our workouts, and the conversation flowed easily. There was definitely a spark there, but I was cautious after the Alexis situation. The following week was when things really blew up. I was in a meeting when Ryan burst in. "You need to see this now," he said, looking unusually serious. He showed me his phone. Someone had posted screenshots of private texts between Alexis and her friends in the comments of her rant post. The text showed her explicitly discussing how to extract maximum money from both me and her parents. "Who posted these?" I asked. "Anonymous account. Created yesterday, posted only these." The texts were truly shocking in what they revealed. In one conversation, Alexis had brazenly boasted to her friends about extracting at least $5,000 monthly from me through dinners, trips, and fabricated emergencies, laughing about it as if it were a game. When Megan commented on how devious this was, Alexis had dismissively responded that I could afford it, adding the entitled claim that men should pay if they wanted quality companionship. Even more disturbing were the messages about her parents' money. In these, Alexis had triumphantly announced receiving the $5,000 from her parents that was supposedly for her struggling boyfriend, complete with laughing emojis. When Chloe asked what she planned to do with the cash, Alexis hadn't hesitated to admit she had already ordered a Gucci bag while telling her parents the money was for my rent. The casual cruelty and calculation in these exchanges painted a clear picture of someone who viewed relationships purely as financial transactions. There were dozens more like this. I felt a surge of anger followed by relief that I had discovered her true nature before things went further. By that evening, Alexis had deleted her rant post, set her account to private, and stopped trying to contact me. The screenshots had effectively ended her ability to control the narrative. I was curious who had leaked the texts. None of Alexis's friends seemed the type to turn on her. When I mentioned this to Ryan, he just shrugged with a suspiciously innocent expression. Maybe one of her friends has a conscience, or maybe someone got access to her cloud backup. "Who knows, Ryan? What did you do?" He maintained his innocent face for about 5 seconds before breaking into a grin. "Remember when she left her phone on your coffee table during that dinner party last month and asked you to bring it to her in the bathroom?" "Yeah, you asked me to grab it while you were in the kitchen. I might have enabled cloud backup and noted her password while I was at it." I stared at him. "That is a serious invasion of privacy, man. So is trying to scam you and her parents out of thousands. Consider it digital self-defense." I couldn't exactly argue with that logic. The screenshots had effectively neutralized Alexis's attempts to damage my reputation. That weekend, I had my first official date with Melissa. We went rock climbing, her suggestion, and then to a hole-in-the-wall ramen place, my pick. When the check came, she immediately took out her wallet. "Let me get this," I said. "How about we split it?" she countered. "I ordered the extra gyoza after all." I smiled, remembering how Alexis would not only expect me to pay but would order the most expensive items without hesitation. Split sounds perfect. Later that night, I got a text from Diana with a link to a news article announcing our company's new cybersecurity partnership with a major tech firm, a deal we had been working on for months that had finally gone public. "Saw this and thought of you," she wrote. "Congrats. Bankruptcy seems to be treating you well." I laughed and thanked her. We had been texting regularly since coffee, mostly about Alexis's fallout, but increasingly about other topics. It was nice having someone who understood the situation without judgment. The next day, I received an unexpected email from Alexis's father asking to meet. I was hesitant but agreed to a quick coffee. What he shared with me revealed a pattern of behavior that went far beyond what I had experienced. And suddenly, Diana's warnings made much more sense. Final update. The meeting with Alexis's father, Richard, was enlightening to say the least. "I wanted to apologize," he said as soon as we sat down. "Not just for Alexis's behavior, but for our role in enabling it." Richard explained that Alexis had been pulling similar schemes since college. There was the tuition increase that required an extra $4,000 spent on a spring break trip, the stolen laptop that needed immediate replacement before finals. The original was sold to a classmate. The apartment security deposit that mysteriously needed to be paid twice. "We always believed her," Richard said, looking genuinely distressed. "Diana tried to warn us for years, but we dismissed her as being jealous or negative." I asked what changed their minds this time. "The screenshots, partially, but honestly, it was your calm, factual explanation to Diana. No angry accusations, just facts. It made us look at the pattern objectively for the first time. He went on to explain that they had cut Alexis off financially and required her to attend financial counseling and therapy if she wanted any future support. She had reacted by moving in with one of her friends and refusing to speak to them for weeks. "She will come around," Richard said without much conviction, "or she will not. But we are done enabling behavior that hurts others." I appreciated his candor and the closure the conversation provided. In the months that followed, my life took some unexpected but welcome turns. The company continued to grow, securing 2 major clients that put us firmly in the black for the foreseeable future. Ryan and I were able to hire more staff and even move to a larger office space. On the personal front, I have been dating Melissa exclusively for 5 months now. She is everything. Alexis wasn't. Honest, independent, and genuinely supportive. She celebrates my successes without expecting to benefit from them and offers actual support during challenges. When I had to pull 3 all-nighters for a major project launch, she brought dinner to the office and helped test our platform, asking insightful questions that improved the final product. The most surprising development, though, has been my friendship with Diana. After the initial coffee meeting, we kept in touch, gradually becoming actual friends, rather than just people connected through an uncomfortable situation. She has been updating me on the Alexis situation, currently dating some doctor, apparently behaving herself for now. But mostly we talk about work, life, and our shared interest in rock climbing. Melissa introduced us both to the sport. I haven't heard directly from Alexis since the screenshot leak, though I occasionally see updates through mutual connections. After her parents cut her off, she apparently struggled to maintain her lifestyle. The doctor she is dating now seems wise to her patterns. According to Diana, he keeps separate finances and doesn't respond to emergencies with cash. Last month, something happened that brought the whole situation full circle. Our company won a cybersecurity contract with a major financial institution, one where David, the guy who called me about Alexis, happens to be an executive. During the kickoff meeting, he pulled me aside. "I owe you one," he said. "That call saved me a lot of headaches." "Glad it worked out," I replied. "How has life been treating you?" "Great, actually. Engaged to a wonderful woman I met at a charity event last year. Someone who pays for her own dinners," he added with a knowing smile. That evening, I told Melissa about the encounter over dinner at my place. She laughed and said, "The Alexis Bullet Dodge Club grows." As we were cleaning up, Melissa got a bit serious. "Do you ever think about how differently things might have gone if you hadn't tested her?" I considered the question carefully. I might have wasted years on someone who saw me as an ATM, or worse, ended up married to her before discovering the truth. "It is weird to be grateful for a deception, isn't it?" she mused. "But that fake bankruptcy probably saved you a lot of real heartache." She was right. That moment of artificial crisis revealed genuine character. Alexis's lack of it, but also the authentic support of people like Ryan, Diana, and indirectly, led me to Melissa. Last week, I ran into one of Alexis's friends, Megan, at a coffee shop. She recognized me and looked uncomfortable. "Jake, hey," she said awkwardly. "How have you been?" "Never better," I replied. "Honestly, how is Alexis?" Megan hesitated. "She is okay. The doctor broke up with her last month. Apparently, he caught her using his credit card for a girl's trip she told him was a work conference." I just nodded, feeling neither satisfaction nor sympathy. Alexis was who she had always been. I just wasn't her target anymore. As I was leaving, Megan called out, "For what it is worth, I am sorry about how everything went down. Some of us knew it wasn't right, but you never said anything," I pointed out. She looked down at her coffee. I didn't. That small interaction confirmed what I had learned through this whole experience. Character isn't who people claim to be, or even who they are when things are good. It is who they are during challenges, and whether they choose comfort over integrity when those two options diverge.